and this is just a random read because that's what I do. So, anyway, I just tried to lay out some cards. They're all kind of scattered a bit here, but I do have my own semblance of order, if that makes any sense here. So, anyway, just wanted to give you just a general idea of what's coming out, and then I'll go through everything in more detail as we go along. So, starting out, we do have the card of the Justice, and we do have clarifiers of the Lovers as well as the Nine of Pentacles. And I actually have the Three of Wands just because I wanted a little more understanding of what was going on there. We also have the Knight of Wands, and we've got the Magician, and then there is the Eight of Swords as well as the Star. And for King of Pentacles, and the Knight of Wands is the clarifier. So again, Star is also the clarifier for the Eight of Swords. And we have the Ten of Wands with the Ace of Cups. And we've got the Hermit, the Nine of Swords, and we've got, this is actually Four of Wands with clarifiers of the Tower, the Emperor, and wasn't quite sure how to interpret that one because it was a little bit, I had a couple of different understandings there, as well as the Three of Cups. So we also have the Moon card and the Two of Swords, and then we've got the Five of Cups, and we've got the Hierophant with the Ace of Pentacles, and then we've also got the, which is a clarifier, Ace of Wands and the Knight of Swords. Again, that's a clarifier. So maybe I'll try to keep these a little more separate here. But I've tried to put them in groupings of two with the odd one, which is a grouping of three. So, okay, so I'm just going to start out here with, again, just a surmise of what is happening here. So, of course, the Justice card can be you coming through here in the read, but it does look as though there's going to be some kind of justice that is happening for you. For some of you, this could be a situation in around a love relationship, could be also finances, trying to debate which if you want to be alone or if you want to be in a coupleship. There could be some, just in the way that you're wanting to move forward here. But I also have sort of another take on that as well. It feels like, and again, this is a general read, so this is just covering a 2-week period for the period of October 21st to November the 10th, roughly. And again, some of you, it'll be a little further out. Everybody's energies are not falling in exactly a particular range, but this is just a general idea of that time frame. Everything does happen in divine timing, so sometimes it takes a while before the energies are lined up to manifest things. So the universe holds it basically for you until such time that it is able to bring it forward. So everything has to be lined up and in tandem before something can operate. And how I believe energies really work as well is, it's like I've made previous sort of references to sitting in the car is idling. And the idea behind energy is you can sit in that energy and you can feel the roar of the engine. You can hear the roar of the engine. You can feel the motivation for the car to want to move forward. But at the same token, if you don't put things in gear and start moving, you won't really know how far the car can go, how fast the car can go, all of that. So energy is meant to be utilized. We are energy. The things around us are energy. Energy is meant to work sort of symbiotically. So, again, it does take focus and attention to really bring something to fruition. But at the same token, even on a very basic level, if you're buying a lotto ticket, you have to buy the lotto ticket to be able to win. If you want to, create a book, you have to be able to sit down and actually write, 10 minutes a day or whatever it is to be able to create something or write the outline. So, as they say, this is just sort of that general energy idea of how things kind of manifest, because we do have the card of the Magician here, which again is a card of manifestation. We have a lot of cards here that sort of speak to energies around healing and some self-restriction, but we also have a little bit of defensive energy here with that Nine of Wands, but it's also real strong energy and motivation and control. But some of the outcome cards here with the Four of Wands, surprising energy, something that you're still in control of here. Whatever this Tower moment is, that Emperor really really represents you being in control of whatever change that's coming through here. And it is something that is going to significantly impact you. But at the same token, there's a lot of control around whatever is being brought forward here. So again, it is around the family structure or around your foundation. Doesn't have to be specifically family members, family grouping, whatever. But there is definitely, again, some reason to celebrate. But it could also be in around connections here with that Three of Cups energy. So something that relates to things being around your family or your foundation or your structure. But again, you're in control of whatever that change is. There's also, again, some energy here around having to work through some stalemate energy. There's been some areas of your life that has probably been a little bit stagnant in terms of your emotion, where things have been more of a blockage than something that you're able to move forward with. We also have the Hierophant and the Ace of Pentacles. And again, I'm going to flesh this all out later here. This is just general information, but the Hierophant is usually speaking to structured forces, or could be a government situation, something along that line, or a business situation. But there is new money of some sort that's coming through here with the Ace of Pentacles, something that new that you will have to consider here for the next couple of weeks. There's new energy around your motivation here too. I feel like there's a spark to move something forward. And I feel like there's just a lot of weight that's being lifted off your shoulders here because there is some gift that's coming in from the universe. And certainly could be a love offer for others as well, but it is just more general energies here, and then we'll flesh it all out. So we also have the Hermit as well as the Nine of Swords. So Nine of Swords is a lot of worry. There's a lot of concern about something that you're very introspective about. And I do feel like with that Hermit energy, it does sort of go and coincide with the Moon, which is all of this is actually the section that is kind of moving from the second week out. So again, the first week is really these cards here, and then this is where it begins into that second week. So the second week of November, there seems like there's a real strong need or urgency to move something ahead, or at least you're feeling a lot more inspired and a lot more action is wanting to be moved ahead here, but, or you want to move on something. But again, there's still a level of, uh, almost government situation, or perhaps this is work situation, structured organization, perhaps even on a spiritual level. But because I see the Ace of Pentacles here, it's dealing with something that's more tangible, more practical, something a little more along the lines of real world. Uh, how do I say real world tangibility? Something that, as I say, that is it's not in the thought, it's not something of your thoughts. It's something that is very practical that's coming in here, that may be around a structured organization or have to do with. So I'm just going to get right into it anyway. So that's just general energies, just bouncing around a little bit random here. Okay, so again, when we look at the Justice card, again, that is that Libra energy, but it also sort of stands to something that's coming in here that is in around your favor. So something that is coming in to sort of balance the scales. This can also be about making a decision because we do have the Justice card, and again, the clarifier is the Lover's energy here, and it does feel like there is some kind of a decision here that needs to be made about, taking a hard look at. Again, I feel for some of you, this will be taking a hard look at a relationship or a situation, ship, whatever it is here, against, an individual decision, or being alone, or, how something kind of works in your world. In terms of a legal situation, for sure, this is something that does move in your favor. The Three of Wands is still an energy of expanding, opening up, something about fairness in this period, anyway. And again, for some of you, it's going to be a little further ranging than the 2 week period, but there is definitely something that is moving in your favor. So I feel like there is some kind of harmony or a resolve in perhaps a situation where there has been. Um, some level of, focus on the money in regards to a connection, but there is definitely movement or advancement forward. So, on a very simplistic level, a decision has been made here, and this is how moving ahead for some of you. For those of you that, again, might be dealing with a legal issue, for others of you, this might be about how to prioritize a relationship, but it's still advancing something forward. Um, in terms of finances, this would also be, based around lovers is also falling into that category of a decision. But there is also a sense that there is going to be a clearer picture about how you'll be moving forward in terms of your finances. This can be an indication that there is more balance in your finances in this period here. Certainly does, kind of lend itself to more of a feeling of a partnership or some kind of a connection that's relevant, um, or at least seems to be highlighted in this particular situation. So, there is something here that is around, again, karmic justice or some kind of compromise. Perhaps I don't even know that it's a compromise so much as it is, because it's more of a balanced decision here. But Libra, of course, is the scales of justice, and it does represent on a very basic level a choice of some sort, that has restored or is restoring some kind of harmony in your in a connection or with yourself, overall, which is allowing you to move forward. So on that basis, that's really where that kind of comes into play. It is also, just on a real, just taking it out into more of a spiritual sort of understanding of things. I just feel like you're also feeling more connected to yourself here. You might be feeling more spiritual, more connected to, um, a connection. It doesn't have to be a lover's connection, it can also be just a really significant connection to someone in your world here as well, somebody that's quite significant to you. But either way, I just feel like there is a sense of balance overall in that, especially in this last week here of October. There's more balance involved, so that you might have been coming from a place of imbalance, but there's definitely adjustments that have been made here. And this could be, again, to your point of view or whatever. But either way, there is something that is, a lesson has been learned, and karmic justice has been pulled forward here. Okay, so anyway, moving into the next cards here, the Knight of Wands is definitely, more along the lines of taking action. Something is manifesting here for you with the Magician card. And again, that's the clarifier. So that is also that sense that, something is moving, there's movement in the direction of your manifestations. So again, I don't know if I'll pull it out here as we go through, but for the most part, it does feel as though there is definitely some kind of action that's taking place here that is allowing for you to see that you're improving on some level. So whether this is a skill that's coming out here, again, perhaps this is more along the lines of an inspiration that's coming to you, but there is definitely energy with the Magician that speaks to one of your skills, that seems to be coming to the forefront, or some aspect of a goal or something is manifesting here that, is kind of springing things to life, and it's now starting to move ahead with the knight. So I think we've got more than one knight here. Yeah, we do. We've got the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Swords. So I feel something will also be communicated, in this month, in this 2-week period, that will help you to, see what area of your life is going to be improving more specifically. So I do feel like there is going to be some kind of financial increase for sure coming through here again. And I know it's been coming through over the quite a few months here for the last, uh, for quite a few of you. But again, everybody's going to be collecting, I suppose, on the average in very different ways. Some of you might have been collecting in September. Some of you, it's going forward in more of the October month. And some of you, it'll trickle through into November, because again, you're all different Libras. And even though in so much as the energy is still Libra energy, there is also, a lag of time, because everybody is making decisions on different dates, and there's certainly, more than one story that, kind of comes through here. So it's not speaking to everybody, but we definitely have a lot of momentum. So we also, so just to go back there into, sorry, my cards are moving around a bit here. So just to go back into the energy of the Knight of Wands. So again, I feel like there's some kind of a skill that is starting to manifest. Something is going to be increasing in terms of, and there is communication about it, whatever it is. So whether it is tangibly coming through in the month of, in this next couple of weeks, I don't know that I see that, but it is still, there is movement around whatever this is. There's definite improvement. In terms of spirituality, again, there's a little bit of that here too, because we do have sort of the energy, but there's still a lot around. Sorry, just trying to get comfortable here. There's still a lot of energy that's around more practical, tangible things here with all of the pentacles that are coming through, even though these are more around the clarifying energy. So when I see, the Knight of Wands, I see movement. I see movement in the area of some manifestation. But again, there's still a lot of cards that are, this is the main energy, which is the Eight of Swords. So there's still some level of restriction, but it's moving in to that star energy. So again, this is the main cards. There's movement, but there's restriction, or at least there's some sense of self-sabotage that could be going on there, or negative thinking, anything that's kind of circulating through there that might be holding you back. But there is still movement again with the King of Pentacles. So there is something that is I feel revealing itself because, again, going down here to the Ace of Wands, this is new energy that's coming in here as well, but it's also a Knight of Swords. So there's communication in around something that is being manifested. Okay, so we're just going to jump back here. I tend to ramble. So, anyway, going back into the Knight of Wands and that Magician energy. So again, there is the Magician is all about because it's also coupled with that King of Pentacles. I feel like there is also some level of mastery here because a Magician is a card of mastery. This is somebody who knows what they're doing with money. I mean, they're obviously business oriented. They know how to bring things about and how to work with investments or whatever, high finance, that kind of thing. So it's somebody who really does focus on the money. It's somebody who really knows, has a better understanding of how to elevate a situation. So I do feel with the Magician, though, this is accumulating life skills. This is being able to, you know, if you can dream it, you can be it, sort of thing. And that's what that combination to me reveals here with the Magician as well as that King of Pentacles energy. So I feel right now, again, with that Knight of Wands here, I just feel like it's not a page energy, it's a knight energy. So it's moving toward this King of Pentacles, but there's still like a couple of steps yet to go with something. So it's not all just jumping in here for the next 2-week period and revealing itself. There's something that still needs to be transformed. So, and again, with that Knight of Wands right next to the Magician, I feel something's transforming. It's not there yet. I do feel like, but it is, obviously the power to turn something into, something significant here. So, but this is like a level, it's beyond the page. This is now at the night stage. So whatever you're manifesting has moved beyond that level there. So I do feel as well, whatever it is you're trying to, in terms of a relationship, I feel like there's something here that can be kind of captured from, that connection as well, because there is a lot of cards of kind of reigniting something here with the Knight of Wands and that Ace of Wands. So there's a spark here. This can be a creative spark for some, but again, this can be more of a relationship spark. Some thread of some sort here in the next 2 weeks is just giving you the idea that something's not dead, something still can be worked on. There's still something that's yet to discover. I do feel again with that Knight of Wands energy, I mean, for those that are sort of goal oriented, I just feel like a creative endeavor is moving forward here. And again, there's a recapture of some kind of spark, could be relationship, could be involved in the business part of things, but there is maybe even like, another skill that's been acquired or at least is coming forward for you to be able to move something skillfully, into another level. In terms of, you know, health aspects, because I mean, again, although I don't really see so much, it just seems like it's mental energy. There's a lot of mental energy, and certainly there's levels of organization and order, that kind of thing coming through with the, but it seems to be in around the finances. Get your affairs in order, get certain things. Gets certain things in your life that are more practical, tangible, probably even in around your foundation. These kinds of things need to be really looked at and stabilized in some way. So maybe you're moving into this energy, or it's already, as I say, starting to kind of move into that energy, because there's a lot of cards here that are new energy. Ace of Wands, Ace of Cups. They're like, this is big. These are big cards. Magician. The main energies, again, that like the main uh major arcana is what I want to say there, would be the Justice card. And we also have actually the Magician was clarifier to the Knight of Wands. So big Justice card. So something is definitely moving in your favor here. And the next big card would be the King of, well, this is not a major arcana, but King of Pentacles is still a really strong, significant influence on your life. So whether this is you and the energy you're moving into, or again, this could be for others, somebody who's coming in to act in a mature way, providing advice, or however the counsel might be here in terms of finances, because again, we do have the energy of the Hierophant, which is also, um, something that's more organized and structured. So there is a good chance that there is somebody here, big business, that could be coming in that you're dealing with, that's in around that energy. There's a lot of cards in regards to yourself emotionally that I still feel are being worked through. Again, there's a lot of stress, mental energy still in around, Hermit card is a card of, introversion and all of that. And of course, with the nine of swords, you're still working, processing through some areas of your life that are concerning. The 10 of wands means you've reached the end of a cycle here. So there's a lot of areas now that you can balance yourself out with, because you have come to a conclusion that you mentally, like I said, we're looking at the 9 of swords and the 10 of wands. These are heavy energies, but they're also very close to finishing up a cycle. So again, it's probably going to carry on for a lot of you 2 or 3 more months out, maybe even, but again, you're just almost complete with some kind of major transition in your life, because again, so many cards of aces here. There's a lot of fresh energy. The 10 of wands being a conclusion. Emotionally, you're sort of resetting yourself here with that Ace of Cups. Still processing through a lot of this new start, though, I would say. And the Ace of Wands, the Knight of Swords, you're getting clear on how it is that you need to go forward. And there's new inspiration, new ideas coming through here for you to act on. But again, it's still in around organizing yourself, still in around practical, tangible matters with the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so where was I? Just flipping back here to going back into the Eight of Swords. Okay, so Eight of Swords energy, I think, is pretty self-explanatory. It is that self-imposed restriction, things that are concerning you around your mental anguish, that kind of thing. Feeling stuck, it's triggers, anything that is where you're thinking the worst, or you're dealing with emotions. And again, it can even be self-deception over a situation. But in regards to, so you projecting onto yourself something you think is real, but it's really not. And again, with the Star card, I feel like you're afraid to maybe make a decision and put yourself out there in some way, because the Star card is a card of being, coming forward and really making yourself more known in some way. So there's some restriction around going forward here, I would say. Again, that's just the clarifier, but the Star card is also a card of healing. So you're still kind of processing through, in a few different ways here with that Star card. But overall, I mean, you're winning the battle, whatever this is, in the next 2 weeks. There's nothing that's really holding you back other than yourself. So there's no real direct obstacle in the way here. Again, Star card in terms of finances would be, establishing yourself with things like getting clear on you can establish yourself by getting clear on what it is that, how do I say, because, like I say, I mean, we've also got that tower card in there. So I'm just kind of trying to connect the two here. As I say, tower doesn't, it can disrupt the foundation, but also in a positive way. And there's also that surprise element from a tower, but it doesn't necessarily mean, I see the tower in this connection here. It's clarifying the Four of Wands as you being in control of that tower moment. So I don't feel like you might be feeling imprisoned in in some regard because something is changing and you don't know how to deal with the upheaval, possibly. But I also feel like you're still making steady moves to take control of whatever this is. There's also that hermit energy and that nine of swords. So there's a real strong indicator to me that this is the part of the situation is that you feel a little isolated or there's solitude of some sort, that you're kind of having to make decisions, in this area of your life. You're not supported in whatever the decision is, and maybe that's because there's something that you need to hold back with that emperor. Like you're having to make have a strong standing to be able to go forward here. And again, I mean, maybe that's why the restriction with the 8 and the 9, it's progressive. So in the next couple of weeks, like I say, and again, some of you, it's going to go trail out a little further, but in the next couple of weeks, I just feel like there is some anguish over something new that's coming in from the universe with the Ace of Cups. And the gift itself may be causing a little bit of hardship, but at the same token, you're getting rid of an old situation in lieu of something new. But again, this is the clarifier, the Ace of Cups. So I feel like something's not fully there yet because this is where you're at right now. This is the clarifier. So the main energies again are you're getting justice in a situation for something that you have done, probably in around a connection, and this is where there is some reward that's coming through and there is advancement in that situation. There is some kind of dynamic energy that's coming through. Again, could be skill level as well that's increasing. And this could even be around your, powers of manifestation, as well, because this is a clarifier, but this is where you're at. This is the main card. The Eight of Swords is that energy of still feeling anxious about a particular situation. And again, with the star energy, you're feeling anxious that maybe something hasn't, it's not coming through, perhaps something along that line. Or it could even be that you're just, again, in a situation where you just don't feel as though there is going to be balance or harmony, or you're just not feeling like something is going to be able to allow you to reach your highest potential. Something in around that there, because the star card is a card of renewal and healing and those kinds of things. So it does indicate a new cycle, but again, this is the clarifier, so you're not there yet. This is what's happening. This You're still in that energy of dealing with this new cycle that, the star card is something that's paying off, right? And it does mean you're on the right track and something is about to bear fruit here, but you're not quite there. It is about, the star is that promise of, good fortune coming your way. But again, you're at the door, you're at the precipice, you're at that place where that new opportunity happens, but you aren't able to reach the highest potential of things just yet with that energy. So we also have that King of Pentacles. So this is you're at the precipice, you're right at the doorway here with the King. But there's just something, and with that Nine of Wands energy, that is an indicator that you just have a little bit more to go. So, Knight of Pentacles, again, this is about, you're setting financial goals for some of you. Some of you are on the end of, um, just at a stage where you're getting some advice, you're trying to build security, something over the long term is really what the King of Pentacles speaks to. So it is that hardworking, kind of energy as well, but it is somebody who's got a mature attitude about moving forward. So with their finances. And it can also speak to a windfall of money or something along that line too, because of that Ace of Cups, King of Pentacles, and there's just a lot of definite growth here. Whatever this is, the money is improving quite steadily here. So again, King of Pentacles, some of you are just at that precipice of, making the money. Something is definitely coming through here. The other part of it is with, again, that Nine of Wands. For some of you, there might be one last step left to go, a little lesson or something that still needs to be worked through, but it is about being a little bit more persistent because you're just about there. With that King of Pentacles, the Nine of Wands tells me you're just about there. You are about to, you just have to be a little bit more patient, but there's also a stubborn energy that could be coming through here as well. And maybe you need to be a little bit more stubborn to be able to, get something complete. Maybe there's one more last task, one more last lesson, something along that line, because a nine is close to a conclusive energy. But it is also about still wands moving forward. There's still energy about you're following the right path. You're on the path with a heart here because we've got that Ace of Cups. This is something that you're really passionate about, but you are taking, practical steps to move it forward. And it is showing up as practical manifestation, meaning something that's more real world energy. It's not we're not way back here with the magician and manifesting. Something is starting to tangibly show you, that's coming through in the direction of, your hard work is starting to uh, create something for you that you can actually believe that the direction you're on is you're making the right choices, so keep on doing what you're doing is really what that speaks to. So, but again, the Nine of Wands still tells me there's still something out there that you have to kind of push through. You have to persevere, because whatever that step is, that last, test, or that last stage of development, whatever that is, you haven't quite reached the 10 yet. But this is, again, the last couple of weeks. So again, some of you, it's going to be a little bit further out, but you're still nurturing something here, because we have, sorry, just moving forward here, because we do have that energy of the Ace of Cups. So there is new all over here. We've got Ace of Cups, and again, we've got Ace of Wands. And I thought there was another ace in here too. Oh yeah, Ace of Pentacles as well. So these are three aces. This is big changes in your life, whatever this is. It's emotional, it's practical, it's something around your foundation, your stability. And that changes also in terms of your ideas and being re-inspired, and there's action being taken. This is the main energy. This is the clarifier, the Knight of Swords. So there is going to be some kind of a communication in regards to a particular matter here that, again, somehow advances you forward with that Ace of Pentacles energy. So again, Knight of Swords still speaks to overcoming obstacles. You're conquering whatever a situation is here. I do feel like you're focusing on making your point as well, and that could, because the two are kind of hand in hand. You're able to really communicate well. This is arguments that are solid and reasonable, and you're just really in a place of defending your beliefs and just getting clear on your ideas and how things will be moving forward in your life this month. So again, the next couple of weeks are just going to be about getting clear, getting communication, and certainly, working through some last stage of development or last mental stage of depth here, because there's just a lot of things that you're still mulling over. And again, it seems to be around some anxiety. Um, but I mean, the outcome over that by the end of that second week, and again, some of you, it's going to trail out a little further. It's just general energy. But by the end of that second week, something huge is going to be coming through here. And I feel like that is that Tower energy. It's telling me that, right now, that Four of Wands, there's something that it'll be just probably just after that period of the 10th, because again, this is the main energy. Something around that stability, something around your family life, something around your foundation is going to be changing. This is the clarifiers, this is where it's headed, but this is the main energy. So there's movement in all of these cards, but I feel like this is maybe potentially the block. Because again, the main energy is the 10 of Wands. The Ace of Cups is the clarifier. You're at that final stage, and now there's this gift that's coming through. But again, we still have this energy around the Hermit. and the Nine of Swords, and it's progressive from the Eight to the Nine. So there's a place of healing, there's a place of kind of processing things still. So, as I say, I mean, I just give it a little bit more time because there's something that's still coming through. And I know that it sounds odd to keep pushing it out, but honestly, this is different for each of you, and the energy is going to speak to you when everything is lined up and ready to be moved forward. I mean, it's like, you can still want a brand new car and want it the way you want it, but until you have the money saved and until all these other things fall into place, it can't happen. Your own thought patterns, your own sense of resistance can also block this path. You might have been going smooth, 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 and all of a sudden bump in the road, and then this pushes everything else out a little bit further. So again, that Eight of Swords energy is where things are at, and this is the clarifier. So right now you're at the Eight of Swords. Right now you're at the Hermit, but these are the clarifiers. This is the direction things are moving ahead to. So right now there's some triggers you're working through. There's some restrictions, thinking the worst, whatever that is for you. You've got some emotions to deal with, and I feel like, again, with that Eight of Swords, it's can be even speaking to insecurities, any kind of thing that makes you feel like a situation is impossible for you to reach, or that you're so frustrated by a situation that you can't get out of the current thought pattern. But either way, I feel like you're preparing for the change. It's just that there's a little bit of back and forth energy. It is progressively moving out of that from eight to the nine, and certainly that Nine of Swords is because you've gone inward here with that Hermit energy. But it is feeling a little bit trapped by, it's mental distress. It's your own psyche that's blocking you here. But you have to just go deep, and that's what you're doing here with the Hermit energy, taking a look at your thoughts, your patterns, your own beliefs, and the things that you're creating, to block yourself, literally block yourself, that worry and anxiety. Sometimes when you just take your hands off the wheel and you just relax in the moment and just realize that something is coming forward, some things you don't have to take action on. The universe is just needs you to release the drama around it so that it can bring that into the environment for you to see it. Because sometimes you just can't see something because you're too filled with all of this anxiety. You can't see. Um, there's one last step, there's one last key, or there's one more call to make, and then everything opens up. So, it's just about getting past your own assumptions about how things should be, and whatever confusions or suffering or whatever torment you're putting yourself through, just know that, this is something that is your own pressure that you're putting on yourself. And once you release that, that blockage is no longer in the way. I mean, we're always going to go back and forth every time we have to work through a situation. But again, the more times that you go through something, the easier it gets. So, it's like a young person that's going through a situation that an older person's gone through is not going to have the same level of, danger, anxiety, or fear because, either there's a certain naivety that goes with youth and you just sort of jump into a situation and figure it out as you go, or when you're older, sometimes you go through something and process it so many times that eventually you're just like, I know I can figure it out, and you just let it go and it's not a big deal. So it can go from, either direction. Again, you can paralyze yourself with the fear because you've gone through something so many times, but that's not learning the lesson if that's the case. And again, with a youthful energy, you could feel that you have enough resources that you don't mind taking a bit of risk. But if you don't have enough resources, that bit of risk can be everything. So again, it just depends on where you're coming from and what your feelings are. But okay, so moving on to, again, that energy of the hermit. So that is, having to go inward, figure out your belief systems, figure out what structures are in place for you. What are the things that are helping you out or, hindering you? What are the things that you can rely on? It's all of that energy that sort of falls into play. And again, like even with the hermit energy though too, I mean that can be spiritual considerations as well. So something might be coming through here just to allow you a little bit of insight so that you can move forward. So, it doesn't, I'm not saying don't do anything, but I'm also not saying, it's more about being open to a situation so that you can figure something out. But again, the hermit is still that energy where you have to take some distance and you have to, allow yourself to grow into a situation. So it is about, and that's where I think things will activate for you. But again, hermit energy is still teacher, healer, in around that level of going deeper all around. So I think you almost have to test the waters with a couple of things to be able to, get a serious idea of where something is going to be directing you for some of you. But either way, it's a bit of a crossroads. So you need to step back and figure out, where you are on that compass of life, I guess, so to speak. But it's also, as I say, you know, some of you are a little bit more action oriented, and this is just really stepping back and trying to release, the element of control. And others of you that go stepping back is about you're just too confused and you can't, see through the trees, and so you need to take a different type of action, small baby steps, that kind of thing, which will help you to get past the fear. It's better to, when you have a lot of fear, sometimes it's better to take some small step than do nothing, because that just puts you back into that circle of darkness where you're going round and round and round. But when you feel like you're progressing, what is it? Anthony Robbins says, progress, not perfection. So long as people feel like they're making progress, there is always some level of control that they feel in their life. And so you actually can discover things along the way, and you don't mind tripping things up because you're not fighting the energy, you're growing with the energy. So on to the Ace of Wands here. And again, the main energy with that one is Ace of Wands is the main energy, and the Knight of Swords is the clarifier. So again, there is action that's taking place with that Ace of Wands. But again, the Knight of Swords is still an action card in itself, but it's still new energy. So I still feel like there's going to be some kind of inspirational thought that's coming through here. There's some kind of um, really strong energy of action after a period of inaction. So in the next couple of weeks, there's going to be some kind of insight, I feel, that's coming through that is allowing you to make a move. I mean, aces, as they say, are all about, having a new passion, going on a new journey. Something's getting moving here. So it is still, firing things up, just feeling like you've got a contract, for example, for some of you that could be just signed, or a document has just been, you know, um, something's just been resolved. There's some kind of new chapter that begins here for, however it reflects in your own life. For some of you, this is a new relationship here that is also kind of entering in here. There might be some kind of a communication as well on that level. But in terms of finances, again, this is still something around some kind of communication that's coming through here. But it might be just a little further out, because again, this is the energy of where you're at. Something is just moving ahead with the Ace of Wands, but it is beginning something new, or at least there's some energy around the sense that um, there's kind of an opportunity that you need to seize. There's something that's coming through as an opportunity here. And again, more than one. So it's like there's ideas, there's sound ideas that are coming through with of a practical nature. And again, there's emotional support here as well. But there's also some kind of communication that's coming through on three different fronts. This is like very big energy changes with three aces coming out here. So, um, all right, so back into, I'm just going to say, going into the Ten of Wands and that Ace of Cups. So again, you're rounding up a cycle that was probably emotionally draining for you. A lot of burdens, a lot of energy out with that Ten of Wands. Something really was a heavy workload. And again, this could be at work, or this could be, in an emotional situation. But there was a lot of added pressure. So in that instance, you need to have more efficiency. You need to have, examine your life and figure out ways where you're wasting more time and energy that could be put toward more focused activities that will move you ahead in a faster way. So, again, I just feel like there's a lot of weight around. you trying to do too much, and you just need to, and emotionally it's draining you, or maybe in an emotional situation you put out too much energy and there's not enough coming back in. But either way, you've assumed too much responsibility, and it's just time to set some boundaries. If you have been doing this, because at the 10 of Wands stage, I feel like there have been some boundaries set, you are starting to realize that you are taking on too much and that the drain is just too difficult. Because again, 10 of Wands and then the Tower. And again, even though this is a clarifier and it's still further out, I just feel like you're really trying to get rid of a lot of things that are just cumbersome and too much weight on you. It's almost like you're in full transformation here, because we've got, like I say, Ace of Cups, Ace of Wands, and Ace of Pentacles. Granted, the stage that you're at right now is the 10 of Wands, because this is still a clarifier, it's still further out. Ace of Wands is right where you're at right now. So the part that you finished up here is the 10 of Wands, and you're now going into the Ace of Wands. Something about communication and getting clear on how you're moving forward is really where the next couple of weeks is at. But what's happening here in the next short while, again, is you're moving into this gift. Whatever this gift of the universe is coming through for you, that is very, very, very soon. Um, where it is right now is about getting things in order. So I feel like you're getting your house in order, your finances in order. Something you're preparing for something here with the Hierophant card, because that is a card of, um, really trying to organize your life, really trying to. You could be some of you could be dealing with, because for me as well, I should just. Sorry. Anyway, finish what I was saying. But with the aces, Ace of Cup, Ace of Pentacles, and the Ace of Wands, this is also cards of opportunities coming through. Again, emotional opportunities, tangible, you know, um, work opportunities, ideas, inspirations, that kind of thing. So there might be several job offers that are coming through here. Maybe you're still working on, some of you might be working on, personal ideas for at home, side jobs, that kind of thing. Ace of Cups could be an emotional situation that you are trying to, that's coming in for you, that's a new situation. And again, it could even be passion projects as well. But either way, these are three aces. There is some major change that you are about to go into here with all we need is just that fourth ace, and this is done. So this is a big evolution of not just feelings, but evolution of, you know, how you lead your life on a practical level, as well as the type of ideas that are going to be coming through. There's big changes here, which I feel is going to help you to feel more like you're whole again in some way, or something is completing for you. But I feel like you're really seeking a deeper meaning to life with so much of this hermit energy and the nine of swords and three different aces. Like that to me, with that magician energy, is just, it's very significant energy. And again, I feel like this is where you're sort of moving into with this King of Pentacles. But there's just so much energy of new levels of emotion, new meaning to life, just a whole bunch of cards that are going to lead to a new career, like a new life altogether on so many different levels. I just feel like you're discovering a lot of things about yourself at this time as well in the next couple of weeks. I'm not saying in 2 weeks' time everything is completely changing, but this is the start of that energy, because again, aces are the start of all of this. So you are moving into a completely different level of understanding in your life. So now we're on to, maybe I'll go through to the Hierophant here as well. So the Hierophant energy, again, like this is dealing with a lot of structure. This is dealing with, could be anything traditional, so maybe you're trying to remain traditional in the way that you're governing your life. So, you're being practical about your finances. You're being, um, taking the time to do the things that you need to do, get things in order, doing things in a traditional role. I mean, that is about, kind of, it does mean that if you have been somebody who hasn't been very traditional, I think the fact that you're moving into this Hierophant and Ace of Pentacles is an indicator that you are making a lot of huge life changes here. And again, I feel like a lot of you, this is, how do I put that? This is you being more in charge of your life, is what I would say there in the next couple of weeks. I feel like there is more control, even though there's a lot of worry and a lot of decision making, a lot of things that are coming up to the surface for you to deal with, but I still feel like you're maintaining balance. You're maintaining, a professionalism or a level of professionalism for some of you. And for others, this is about really saving your money, getting organized. It's really about following the methods that have already been set in motion and making it work for you. But I don't feel like you're compromising yourself in any way. I feel like you are actually just becoming someone new in a sense. You're really moving through a period of a crossroads and into this new version of yourself. And I feel like this conventional thinking, or this um, you know structured sort of system of some sort, you're benefiting from. So even if it does change down the road, maybe you will take more risks down the road. But right now, I feel like the systems are the things that you're connecting with to move you forward, advance things forward. And again, for some of you, this could be a new job offer that's coming through with a corporate entity, and things are just moving ahead. And for some of you, it could be, sort of a sudden turn of events. But again, the energy is anybody who's put out the resumes, there's a lot of options available to you in the next couple of weeks. And for others of you, this is you, entrepreneurial energy, and either connecting with somebody who has financial capability to advance you in some way, or you are also becoming this same sort of energy. And again, for some of you, it is going to be the Nine of Wands, where you've got one more lesson, one more thing to push through before you're sort of into this full on. But again, like you're all on different sort of tracks here, so there's a sense of having to speak to you all on a different level. It's like a 3 or 4 tier process, right? So, and then of course with that moon energy, like I said, I mean that is all about kind of working through some of the old patterns, some of the things that you have some fears around, some of the things that you're still not quite sure, like you might be holding on to, you're not quite sure you want to let go of here with that Two of Swords and the Five of Cups. Emotionally, I still feel you're attached to a situation. Maybe this is a relationship of some sort. Maybe this is some kind of emotional connection to, I don't know, something, it's emotional connection anyway. But that Five of Cups energy is indicator that you're going to be changing that. Fives are all about change. There is a decision, there's some kind of a situation that might be still a little bit hidden here with that moon card, but it's also about overcoming illusions, and it's also about working through those subconscious fears and anxiety. All of that can be sometimes representing a bit of a mirror, and projecting things out there that aren't really there. But again, it's still not absolute. This is still something that is things coming to light. The moon is maybe not the brightest uh type of light, but the star is. And this is where you're moving toward. So the Eight of Swords is that energy of 8 to 9. You're getting clear, you're making progress. This is not where you are yet, but it is the clarifier. Right now, you're still in the 8 energy, and you're still working through things with the Hermit, but you are moving into the star, and you are moving into the Nine of Swords. And then, as I say, I mean, right now you're still working through the fears with the Moon card, but the Two of Swords means you're going to come to some kind of decision in the next couple of weeks is going to allow you to emotionally make some changes here with that Five of Cups. So, as I said, I feel like the moon is giving you a little bit of insight. It's a little bit of light, in the direction that you need to move something ahead. So it's not the full on light of the sun, but it definitely speaks to some kind of growth in the next couple of weeks. And again, it's emotional changes that you'll be making here. So again, this is the main card. This is the final outcome card, and the reading is just about done here. The Four of Wands is that indicator of, happy family and stability. But when it's clarified, it does speak to, and the four is, of course, are all about balance as well. But it still speaks to, um, again, where it's headed is something around the family or the stability or those that you call family or whatever those connections are. The energy around it is the Tower, the Emperor, and the Three of Cups. There is some significant change in your life that is going to take place very soon. The Four of Wands is where you're at. So it's something around the stability of the family. But again, I don't feel like this is something that you're out of control with. The Tower indicates a sudden change, some kind of element that will upset the balance of things around the family situation. But with the Emperor and the Three of Cups, you're in control of this change. There's also, again, Three of Cups. This could be around a group of people as well, but there's some kind of a happy event here. Again, with the Three of Wands that was back here, again, just a clarifier at the very beginning of justice. But the Three of Wands is also about, it could be Leo, Sagittarius, Aries energy coming through here with that as well. The ones that stand out for me, it's not all, of course, but Libra energy with the Justice card. Could be Virgo energy in here too, but I feel like a lot of the cards are more along the lines of sort of that Aries energy and Libra. And we'll just see what else sort of pops out here. But again, that Four of Wands and the Three of Wands, I mean, there's progression. So again, the Three of Wands is still a clarifier, but again, with the Four of Wands, this is where you're at right now. Something is about to change that's in around your family, your stability, something along that line that is optimistic. It's a reason for you to um, go forward, but brace yourself is basically what it is, because whatever the change is, it's pretty significant. So, and it is involving some kind of group energy. It is definitely connected to just but again, it's not out of control. It's not chaotic energy. It's controlled energy with the Emperor. It feels like this is a surprise of some sort. And it's not really telling me if it's finances, but given the fact that you have life-changing cards here with the King of Pentacles being main energy, I feel like this is around the money. And again, or at least around things that are very tangible to you. Things, it doesn't have to be an immediate windfall, but it's certainly around significant advancement in structure or money. King of Pentacles, like I said, is a mature energy. So you're at the stage where you've got a lot of aces here. They're making significant changes in three different areas of your life. We just don't have the fourth ace here. So we've got the Ace of Cups, we've got the Ace of Wands, and we also have the Ace of Pentacles. Even though this is still a clarifier, the one that you're at right now is the Ace of Wands, but you are very soon headed into the Ace of Cups, which is the gift. And the Ten of Wands is the final stage of whatever hardships, that you've endured. This is the next stage. And again, this is where you're at right now. It's all going to be around, the gift is coming in around stability. It's in around your finances, I suspect, like I say, or something around the stability or the foundation of your world. You're in control of this change, and there's a group celebration. There's something that's going to bring about a sudden surprise element. So I'm kind of curious to see how this works out for you. But like I said, I mean, these are big changes. You are changing on a significant number of levels here with Ace of Cups. And again, you're not quite there yet. You're still in the Ten of Wands, but you are about to make some big changes in your life. With all of this structured energy, even with the Hierophant, like, with the Ace of Pentacles coming through, it feels like you're just moving into some new level of structure that is going to, really change your financial state. But like I said, these are big changes. Even though you're still in the Ace of Wands and there's movement on it, you're at the final stage with the Ten of Wands, which means there's still movement, but you're right about to get this gift with the Ace of Cups. And again, you're still dealing with structures or tradition or something that's significant to you that is kind of beyond your. I feel like it's almost, I don't want to say foreign energy, but it's dealing with big energy with the Hierophant. But that's where you are right now, but it's going to lead to the Ace of Pentacles. So this is the clarifier. This is the main card. So like I said, there's a lot of big changes coming through in this next couple of weeks. Again, with the Hierophant, the Nine of Swords, you're here, or sorry, the Hermit, you're here and you're still processing. And this is where you are, Eight of Swords in that first week, but by the second week, still processing. And again, by, the very end of it, it looks like you could be making some kind of a decision and it's emotionally changing you, whatever the decision is. So, because it's the final week. Something in November is going to be life altering for you. So however this resonates for you guys, but Libra, this looks like this is a pretty significant couple of weeks. Again, some of you it's going to move a little further out. Energy is fluid, but it's also big energies that I see here. So when somebody's going through, an emotional breakup, for example, or whatever, those are not energies that are worked through in a couple of weeks and you just move on. It's like anything, everybody processes at a different rate. So however this resonates for you, but again, I just feel like there's a lot of big changes coming in your life. So please let me know in the comments if this resonated. And otherwise, I'm out and we will see you in future reads. I might do something a little shorter on the next one that deals with maybe just the traditional Celtic cross, something along that line. But anyway, take care. Have a great night. Keep moving forward and never give up.